My second favorite is the Super-Snap. And actually, hold on, I got to grab something. So you can either buy it in this really large kit and you just stock it, I keep it in my anterior composite kit because it's really helpful and I'll go through what's in there. But this, for me, this was huge. This little Super-Snap kit, it even comes with a little disposable mandrel. So you don't even have to keep up with a mandrel. And you can just load these 3 or 4 little Super-Snaps on there, do your finishing, do your trimming, do your polishing, all that. Okay. Things I love about this. I use the black like 90% of the time in anterior restorations. Love getting a fresh, crisp, and sisal edge with that black. It's so lovely. I love there's no metal in the center. I don't have to manage the circle. You've got the old tried and true snap discs that you put on the mandrel, the metal mandrel, and you're cruising along, but you can only use the outer rim of the circle. I didn't even think about that with this. I'm cooking, right?
I'm telling you, I think I drive the assistants nuts because I use those on probably, I'm going to venture to say every single procedure that I do. I utilize those discs.
Do you really? Like even posterior?
Posterior, I love it to finish the interproximal contacts with the double-sided one.
That's nice.
And actually, we have a new associate in the office, and I showed her how to do that, and she was very appreciative that I showed her that the other day. If I'm doing a buccal class 5 on a posterior, I will go black, purple, green, and then I'll come back with my polishers. If I'm doing temporaries, I'm finishing my temporaries with the discs. I mean, I don't know. I believe there's someone out there called the disking queen. I'm going to challenge her because I might be the disking king.
So the other thing I'll make a note is there's 2 different sizes and these are all disposable. So you're just going to, do your adjustments and then throw them in the trash. I love that too, because my team can't always keep up with stuff. And anyway, I think this little disposable pack, I just have in every operatory. And then, we use it and trash it. It's fine in case I need it. But I got to tell you, I know this show is kind of all about us, but one of our really good friends has been out there. She was in the same boat, I think, Tiny Sue, correct me if I'm wrong, but oh my gosh, why are you screwing around with her? Okay, I think she was in the same boat as I was when I said, "Hey, do you use anything for Shofu?" And she's like, I think you said, "What's Shofu?" Maybe?
I knew them from like their polishing cups, right? I think I knew them best.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I think in dental school, maybe we had those. And like when I transitioned into practice, that's what we had. And so I started using a few other products kind of gradually. Most recently, a lot of their composites, especially being in public health. The geomer that the composites have, I think is just really, really awesome and like so rewarding, especially for like high caries risk patients. And so any little bit helps. And those composites have been great.
So, hi, Tanya.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Do you use the discs?
I do. Yeah, I like them. I like the 3M discs, but what I like about these Snap-on discs is they don't have that circle in the middle.
The metal in the middle.
Yeah.
Metal in the middle, yeah. And the other thing is like I will line them up on the tabletop with the little insert thing sticking up, and I just pop them off, and then I just take the handpiece and pop them right into the next one.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, I don't even pick them up. It's so easy, and every single case, I think if you ask my assistants what I use the most of, they're going to tell you those discs.
Yeah.
They're great. I
So
think they're great. They're great for anteriors for sure.
you brought up something called Gymer technology, and I know that Jeff touched upon this a little bit earlier, but JB, would you pick up your not your silver sheened one, but your Beauty Fill Flow?
Yeah, that's this one, right?
That maybe I have this tube here.
Oh, well, that's the X. So I have the X as well.
No, I wanted you to pick up the Flow first.
Yeah.
You like your flowable and carpets?
This is the Flow Plus in the single compule.
So this right here is Beauty Fill. I'm just going to say Beauty Fill Flow. This one is the Plus X, but this is probably their stock and trade Gymer product, with which Tanya alluded to a little bit earlier. The Gymer product is really a product that's somewhat bioactive. It's got 6 essential ingredients. God, I wish I could say them. I know it's FBASS, so it's fluorine, fluoride, bromine. Is it bromine?
It's not on my tiny. It's not on.
Hold
here.
on. I'm gonna bring it up real quick because I want to make sure that I get all of this correct. But I'm super excited about this. I want to give them the total package when we're talking about this. But basically, they were pretty much bioactive before bioactivity was a thing. And what it is that they have a product that releases. It is fluoride, strontium, sodium, aluminum, silicate, and borate. And so basically this has it's a lot like a glass ionomer, or more so like a resin modified glass ionomer, but it's all in the package of a composite. And it recharges and releases just as a resin modified glass ionomer would. And so when you put this product in, it's going to be antibacterial. There's a slide that they have, and I don't know that the slide is as powerful when you first look at it, unless you actually read it. But basically, it inhibits plaque formation on the restorative material itself. So there is a slide image. There are 2 SEM slide images, and one of them shows the plaque accumulation without the material and the plaque accumulation with the material. And then you realize how much it's magnified, and you realize how truly powerful this is. It's very acid resistant, very antibacterial, very anti-plaque, and it really does a wonderful job in the oral cavity. Jeff had mentioned this before too, but it is my absolute go-to for aligner attachments. And I love not only the antibacterial, antimicrobial effects of it, but what I really love is the aesthetics of it. So you've got this wonderful product that's packaged, that's got great science behind it, that has, a great antibacterial, antimicrobial, anti-caries effect to it, and it's also extremely aesthetic. And so they had the Beauty Fill Flow, which was highly filled, and then they came out with the Beauty Fill Flow Plus X, which was even more highly filled. And when you look at that, there is absolutely zero reason to be using anything other than these products, because the polishability is as good, if not superior, to the majority of the traditional composites on the market, with the added benefits. And so the Flow Plus X is the one that I gravitate towards, because it's more highly filled and more polishable, but you're going to get great aesthetic results with both of them. They're great for incisal edge fillings, like Jeff mentioned. They're great for class 5s. The other thing that's wonderful about them that I failed to mention is that they come in multiple viscosities. And when you look at their viscosities, They have one that'll just flow right into a class 1, and it'll just kind of fill the entire cavity, and you just take a little micro brush and just move it off. And then once you're done, all I really do is come back with a little jiffy brush and polish it off, because it's a very highly polished surface. And then they have one that's more viscous that will actually flow into a class 5, and it's somewhat shapeable, but it'll hold its form for long enough for you to place it and cure it and get a really nice result. So it's very thixotropic when you get into the higher viscosity material.
So Tanya Sue, you've been using Shofu and starting to experiment a little bit more with it in your practice. Tell me a little bit about your experience and like what you've noticed.
Yeah, I probably started incorporating it more into my workflows like the last 6 months or so, maybe a little bit more. But it's so interesting that Chad mentioned the different viscosities on these flowables, because the F00, the one that isn't really flowy, it's a little bit more tacky, is so weird to see, right? Because we're used to flowables flowing, right? They flow into crevices, they kind of go where you need it to go, or they go everywhere. But this not as flowable is really interesting because it kind of just stays there and you can manipulate it where you want it to go. But I also think that this could be really useful if you need to like tack something on, maybe like a veneer or a long-term temporary, you need a little bit of flowable. I think this is an excellent flowable to use. But back to what you were asking me, I do have some cases to share if y'all wanted to see any. Just some bread and butter dentistry, nothing too crazy. But let me see.
Absolutely.
If I can share.
Yes.
Do I need to share them, or do you need to share them?
I don't know.
Do you have a share option on your screen?
I do. Let's see. Oh, okay, cool. So we'll start with this one. Can you see this?
Yeah. Well, I could see it. Hold on. Do the, here we go. Oh, we probably did it at the same time.
Okay.
Cool.
Look at that, you little rubber dammer.
Yes, I do love rubber dam, and I kind of go back and forth between Clinician's Choice rubber dam and the ISO dam, which are great rubber dams. But I'm also the queen of not taking before pictures. Anyways, just, nice, simple class 1. So this is some Shofu composite. This is probably the F03 flowable, which I prefer. So I like my flowable to flow. And then I do think that this is the Beautiful LS. So I kind of just wanted to see how this would blend and polish, and I thought that this did a pretty good job. So,
looks great.
Yeah, I think the blend was really nice.
Really nice.
Yeah, really happy with that. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can do this one too. So this was a tough case. And whenever I do these, I always ask myself why I didn't do a crown. So don't ask me. But this patient came in and had, this filling that was failing. And you could see that separation of this composite material from the tooth structure. So I did take a before picture here. So here we have this composite that was not doing well. And I really think that this has probably been in here for a while. But one of the reasons I think it was failing is because I didn't have a really good marginal seal. So remove the composite. We're a little bit subgingival.
I hate those preparations so much.
Yep. Me too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But this is a great product to use, right? If we're talking about the Gyomer that Shofu has, right? We really know that our bonding isn't going to be great if we're down in a root structure. So any kind of fluoride release that we can get down in here, I think would be really excellent. For me, to get a really good seal, I like to use these copper bands to really wedge in there and kind of get in there and get a nice seal. And yeah, once we fill it up, this is Beautiful, the regular, not the low shrinkage. And you can see that it's really a really nice aesthetic result. It's a Beautiful result.
Oh!
Yeah, so really, really nice. And here's our final x-ray. So I feel really
good. Oh, look at you go, girl.
It looks beautiful. And did the patient say, man, I really miss that old crappy composite? Like, I really miss it.
Yeah, they were very ecstatic leaving the office that the appointment was over because it took forever. These are tough. These are tough. And I have one more. So this young boy came in, fell on his face, broke this tooth, and we built it back up.
That looks awesome.
And
so
that's which composite is that? That's the Beautiful packable.
packable.
Yeah, I do like their packable too. And I don't
Yeah.
think they give it enough credit. I think it's a wonderful product, but you still got the Gymer technology and a really nice aesthetic composite, once again, with the packable. So
Yeah,
the
this is
flowable is not the only thing that they have.
Yeah, 100%. I use more packable in general. I don't really like to do larger restorations like this in flowable. It just doesn't really work well in my hands. And so this was something I wanted to try, and the aesthetic result I thought was really nice. I mean, it blends really nicely. And if this tooth continues to erupt, we can always just cut back a little bit. And yeah, so
Nice.
beautiful. Great composite. I would really recommend it.
I think what's cool about your story is that this was not a working composite that you had, nor was it for me. But I mean, honestly, once I got it in my hands and I started working with it, both the flow and the packables, it's now in my practice, and it just sort of naturally became a part of what we're doing. And I think that speaks a lot to the product itself. I mean, we don't take a materials company up here and say, I love everything about this company and everything that they make. There are things I like and things I don't like about them, but for sure we get the added benefit of the Gymer technology, but also it's a really nice working composite.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's easy to handle. I
Yeah.
heat all of my composites, and I think that it heats really nicely. It does what it needs to do when you do heat it and kind of pack it into crevices and tight corners. And the polish is really nice too. So yeah, really pretty.
I think bioactives in general, I think in 10 years will be all we're using, because at the end of the day, if you have the choice between choosing products that, as long as they prove to be viable, if you have the choice to use products that are working to help benefit the patient versus inactive products that are just sitting to fill holes, I think clinicians are going to start gravitating more and more towards bioactive materials that in some way have either, what Chad was talking about, the low plaque attachments, they're feeding off the fluoride in the environment. They're doing something beneficial for the patient other than just sitting there.
100%. It's an added benefit to a composite that you're already using, and you don't have to do anything more. So I think that is awesome.